Hi everyone, it's Joan from Joan's Designs and Creations, and today we're going to make a ladybug. I promised to have this tutorial up the other day, but I lost it for a while, so once I found it, then now I'm able to post it. So what I did was take a round, and this is a 12-inch round, and I cut out a part for the head to go into. So I am going to start with the head part, and I am going to cover it in the black clay. So I work my clay so I get it to where I can use it. Roll it in my ball so that I can get out the air bubbles. Then I just roll it out into a circle. And the black clay that I am using, I believe, is Glitz and Glue Black. Use my round circle cutter. And then take that round piece and bring it out a little more, just so it's into the shape that I want. And I am doing this for the body first. Just add some tacky glue to the styrofoam so it holds in place. This is a coarse styrofoam, so I like to use the tacky glue just to help that glue stay in place. So I take that and lay it on the top and then work it around the sides. I'm not worrying about it being that perfect because I'm going to add red to the sides. So I do the, next I am going to add some to the sides of it, but not a whole lot. Just to cover some parts of it. Adding my tacky glue into, that is where the head is going to go. Smooth that out with my hand and rolling it. So then whenever I add my black head to that, it'll go into that section nicely. Then I work my black clay a little bit, add a little more to it. And yes, it is the Glitz and Glue Black. Just rolling it out, making sure I get those air bubbles out. Roll it into a circular motion. Doesn't have to be perfect again because I'm going to be adding it to the round flat surface. Add some more tacky glue. And you'll see that I cut off a little section of that as a indentation so that it'll fit into that face, the head part of the body. The body will take that head and put it into that little crease. Just flattening that out. Smoothing out the sides so that makes a nice smooth finish. Then I will set that aside, and then I will work on the red part of the body. Oh, I'm sorry. First, I'm going to work on the antennas of the ladybug. Wasn't sure how much I needed, but apparently I needed a little more. Just working it a little bit. And then going to almost like a teardrop shape to begin with, but then I'm going to bend it into a, with this of the little tip at the top. We'll have that little curve end. I make them close to the same, but they don't have to be exactly the same. Set those aside to dry a little bit. They're easier to work with and attach after they've dried some. So next I'm going to get my red clay, and I have that red clay that I'm using is from Marie's Great Creations Faux Cupcakes. And this red is definitely softer than that black, but you saw me cleaning up the surface because the darker colors sometimes fade onto your work surface. So you have to make sure that you clean those up. And I find that the red is the one that stains my work surface the most, so I definitely make sure that I clean off my surface after I use the red clay. It is softer, so that color seeps out of there more. So I'm just seeing what size I need, and I'm going to do half of the front with the red, and then I'm going to do it on the other side with a opening in the middle. So you see me, I was going to put that down before I cut out my little holes. So then I had to go back and take that off. It stuck a little bit, but I'm going to cover that spot up with the red again, so it's not a problem. I wasn't going to dig it out. So I just cut different size holes into the Ladybug front so that you can see the black through the red. So you can see where I laid that on top of where I did the set that red down originally. So I'm just smoothing out the back, and I'm going to put a foam sheet on the very back so it doesn't have to be perfect on the back. That'll cover up that section and it'll be smooth then. So then I go to make the second side of the body with the red. Work that clay again. Saw that was sticking up there a little bit, so pressed it down. So you can see how cute those little circles are cut out of the red so that you can see the black through there. So it's like 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional. And of course, you always get some stuff stuck in your clay, so you have to pull that out. Just constantly moving that and working that around, especially whenever it is wet, because we want that air under there so it doesn't stick to our work surface. So I'm just cutting off and smoothing out the sides. And this time I remembered to cut my circles before I added it onto the black. Usually you will take the clay away from the circle, but I was fortunate enough that those circles came out without me having to pick that clay up all the time. And I just put it down in like a diagonal section so that you can see that separation between the body, and it's at a triangle area, triangle section. Again, just work that in the back, and you'll see that that red is around the sides so that you can't see where we left up that black. Wanted another little red dot at the top, so I had to work at that and then decided, nope, I'm going to leave that there. Smooth that out a little more, and then I put the head on the back. Again, just pushing that down a little bit, adding my tacky glue. Then I am getting my new paintbrush, of course. A lot of times you'll see me using multiple brushes so that I can, I throw them in the water between time. So now I'm just adding some toothpicks so that the head will stay on. See where I'm going to pre-do my holes, and then I will add some tacky glue in there. So that'll make it more sturdy, and that head will stay in place. And again, I'm going to put a foam sheet on the back of that, so I'm not real worried at how the back looks. And again, it's not going to be perfect. Everything that we do cannot be perfect. We're humans. And we cover that up with glitter and cabochons and different types of decorations we put in here to cover up our imperfections. I'm not sure what I'm getting here. Oh, I know what I'm getting. My mold to do my borders, and I'm bordering my black and the red down the middle of the Ladybug, just to add that finishing touch to it. And then I will do that to the other side also. Roll it out into a little snake, put it in the mold, and it'll come right out. I have used this mold several times, but in between times I do put some mold release on it, either some coconut oil or vegetable oil or some type of oil so that it's easy to work with. And you'll see I just have to do a little section to finish it off. I really like this border mold. It's very easy to use, and it has 3 different types of designs. The one I'm using for this one is little dots. And you can see where I finish it off there on both sides. And that just helps bring the piece to a good set and finish to separate the design. So I'm going to add my big straw to the end of it to make it a holder. Putting some super glue in there and putting some super glue in my stick so it holds, and then add that super glue, that stick that has the super glue on it, to my big straw. And I wanted to do a big straw because this is a pretty big ladybug. Next, I am going to work on the ribbon that I'm going to attach, and I thought this black and white striped ribbon would go good with the ladybug theme. So I just cut out first I put down my zip tie, and then I added a tail, and then I twist it as I do each loop so that the right side of the design, the ribbon, is facing up. I just added 2 loops on each side, put that aside, and then I have some red ribbon. It's almost like a canvas type. Added the tail, and then I'm adding that in there and doing 2 loops of that also. And they are smaller than the black and white striped ribbon. After I have that together, I zip tie it closed, push that zip tie to the back. So then I have my ribbon, and it is being able to then be attached to my ladybug. Snip off those extra pieces that are in there where I changed the ribbon so you don't have that bulkiness in there. And then I will put a decoration on the front to bring it all together. But I will add that on there a little later after that dries. Next, I am going to add some glitter to the middle part. Oh, I added the red twist. I took some worms and twisted them together and added them around the circle of the body. I did that while I was off camera. And now I am adding the tacky glue to the black part, and I'm going to add some black glitter to that area, just to bring that out and make it more sparkle. Again, I get another paintbrush to spread my glue around. I go through lots of paintbrushes. But I have a old peanut butter jar that I put some Dawn dishwashing liquid into it, and then add some water, and then I will put my used brushes in there and let them soak, and then whenever I'm ready I wash them out, and they come out nice and clean because they are sitting in that Dawn. So it breaks up all the glue and everything, paint or any substance that I would have used on that paintbrush. And here I'm looking for which piece I'm going to add. Of course, not finding what I wanted, so I went back to the glitter, and I'm putting that on there next. You'll see I'm putting a generous amount on, but as I brush it off, I will save that, and you don't use a whole lot of the glitter. And when I flipped it, of course, I made a mess on the front, so then I had to go through and brush that off with another clean brush that I have. Just show you that I'm brushing off the glitter. And usually it comes off very easily when I use my other brush. So I'm going to stop it here, and I'm going to get that other brush and clean it off some more. There I go. So I cleaned it off. And then I put a A little bit more tacky glue at the top. And what I'm going to do here is add a black bow, but I'm going to make that bow out of the clay. And then I have a red cabochon that I'm adding to it that's sparkle, and it is an oval shape. I used my favorite bow. A lot of us use that bow mold to make our bows. So I'm going to put that, and then the last thing that I need to do is add the bow that I had made earlier, and I put a black, almost like crispy, not crispy, like almost like a kiss shaped cabochon to that. So I'm adding my super glue in here, and then I'm going to add that bow onto the end of that, where it goes on the end of the ladybug and the beginning of the straw. Just hold it there for a few minutes or a few seconds so that it stays. This is the most patient thing that you have to be patient with. A lot of times it takes about 20 seconds, 25 seconds to make sure it sticks. And sometimes you have to, depending on how much of the super glue you put on, sometimes it takes a little longer to get it to stay in place, to get it to set up so where you can use it. Here's the end product. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I thank you for joining me, and have a good evening. Thank you.